in my video and to have me make a video specially to answer your question, send me an email to englishclubusa@yahoo.com, and you can visit my website at englishclubusa.com for a free life membership. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell. Well, this is your third adventure through videos on prepositions with me. And I have no doubt that you will enjoy them. Well, we've done two videos on the basic prepositions, which are at, on, and it. And we've done the second video on the prepositions that are a little bit more advanced. Well, now let's give it a try, a few more prepositions. And as you remember, I talked about that English is binary. Binary means there's two things that are complement each other in some way, or there are similarities. Well, in English language, there are a few prepositions that work in the same way, at least in a very similar way. And let's take a look which prepositions are they. Well, first of all, let's look at the three prepositions that are up, down, and out. And let's look at a few examples to see if these three prepositions have something in common. I get up at 7 a.m. So when I'm talking about getting up, am I talking about getting up a little, or am I getting up completely? I think I'm getting up completely. If I am the second person taking a shower, I end up with cold water. End up means I will finish with cold water. So will I finish a little with cold water, or I will completely, totally finish with cold water? Let's look at a third example, and that is, please stand up. Do I want you to stand up a little, or do I want you to stand up totally, completely? And the answer is completely. So whether I wake up, whether I end up, or whether I stand up, all of these things mean totally. Well, but you say, okay, what about down? Does it mean totally too? Let's find out. Sit down, please. Am I asking you to sit down just a little? Or am I asking you to sit down completely? Totally. Well, you know that it's more than just a little. The stock market went down today by 10%. So if the stock market went down by 10%, did it go down only 3%, 4%, 5%? Or did it totally went down to 10? It went down totally to 10. I live in downtown. What is a downtown? Downtown is the center of the city. Is the center of the city here, or is it totally inside the center of the city? That's why downtown means totally inside the center of the city. Please turn down the music. So when you have to turn down the music, do you turn down the music just a little? Or do you turn it down totally so people can talk? So what do all these two things have in common? They're talking about totally. What about out? It's impossible that you have three prepositions that mean the same thing. Well, let's look at the examples. You come to my door and there's a sign. Out to lunch. Am I in my office, or am I totally not there? Well, I think we know the answer to that question. I will be out of town in December. I go to Orlando. I always go to Orlando and I enjoy my Mickey Mouse. And I have a beautiful resort that I enjoy as well. So when I go to Orlando in December, am I totally not in Montevideo? I think you know the answer to that too. So the lights are out. That means they're not working. Are they not working a little, or they're not working totally? I think you know the answer to that question too. And we're out of money. When I go to Orlando, I spend all my money and I come back completely, totally without money. Do I have any money left? Maybe in the bank account. But here, nothing. So we're out of money. So you will say, okay, if the three prepositions mean the same thing, why do we need three prepositions? So if there are three prepositions, that means there is some kind of difference. So what is the difference? It's very simple. Anything that is up is something positive. So I need to get up at 7 o'clock in the morning. Do I want to get up? Of course. I need to make video classes. I need to go to work. I need to do something fun. That's definitely positive. I will end up completely without hot water. Wonderful. I don't have to pay to heat up my water. So I will pay less for the electricity. Pretty good. And please stand up. If I don't see you, I need you to stand up. And when you stand up, I can see you. That's positive for me. If you sit down, okay, is it something positive or negative? Well, for you it's a positive, but for me it's a negative. I don't see you anymore. What if the market went down by 10%? That means if you had money in one day, you lost 10%. It is definitely not positive. And if I live downtown, which way do I need to go? North or south? I need to go to the center. So whatever the lower, the less the distance from the center, and that's where I'm going. So it's a reduction. It's a negative. If I want to turn down the music, is it positive or negative? Well, volume, the amount of sound, is definitely negative. And for you who wants to listen to music, it's definitely not positive. So, you say, but what about out? If you have positive and negative? Well, if I'm out to lunch, is it positive or negative? Well, for me it's positive, for you it's negative. You have to wait. But it's a fact that I am not there. What about if I'm in Orlando? It's a fact that in December I am there. And we will talk about the verb to be as being a fact in a special video. And then if the lights are out, is it good or bad? Okay? I don't know. It's a fact. They're not working. Maybe we have no electricity. Maybe we have an electrical problem. But the fact is that they're not working. And if I have no more money, is it good or bad? Well, it's good. I will not spend anymore. It's bad because if I want to buy something, I can't. But it's not really good or bad. But when I'm out of money, that means it's a fact. I have no more. So, now you see the relationship between these three prepositions, that they actually mean all the same thing with a very small difference between them, but the real meaning is not whether it's a positive or negative, but that something is done totally. So you will say, okay, what is so binary about these prepositions? And the binary part is that there's another type of prepositions that also mean the same thing, with also having something similar as far as relationships between the prepositions are concerned. So let's take a look and see what the other three prepositions are. One is the over, and let's look at the examples to see how they work. And that is, when you play a game, you start the game and you finish the game. When you start and you finish the game is over. What about company owner is over everybody? Does he start and finish? Yes. That means everything that has to do with the company, it doesn't matter how simple or difficult, but the company owner connects everybody from start to finish. The company owner is responsible for everything from start to finish. What about the roof? Is the roof responsible for anything? No. Yes, it is. It's responsible to keep the rain from coming in. But why is the roof over the house? That's because the roof connects completely from one wall to the other. That means you start on one side and you finish on the other. You start on one side and you finish on the other. That's why the roof is over the entire house. What about a cross? Is a cross also has something to do from one side to the other? And yes, it does. For example, please look across the street. So when you have to look across the street, what are you doing? You're starting where you are and you're finishing on the other side. The question is it easy or difficult to look on the other side? And we all know that if all I have to do is look from here to the other side, it is not difficult. What about a ball rolled across the floor? Try rolling the ball on a hard floor, not carpet, but on a hard floor. And how difficult is it for the ball to go from one side to the other? Not very difficult. You just roll it a little and it will just continue going, very easy, until it hits the other side. So the ball rolled from one point to the other. And it was not difficult. What about amazing? I got across town in 10 minutes at 9 a.m. Can you believe at 9 o'clock in the morning going across town in 10 minutes? That's amazing. Why? No traffic, no cars, it's a holiday, so it normally takes half an hour or more. And amazingly today, I got across town in 10 minutes at 9 o'clock. So, was it difficult or easy to go from one side of town to the other? It was easy. So, remember, every time you see a little star in the video, that means there's another video that talks about what is marked by the little star. In this case, it's a verb get. And you will see a very interesting video on the verb get. Probably the most unusual verb in English language. So, what about through? Is through, does it mean something from point A to point B? Just like over and across? Yes. And let's take a look at examples where we can see why through is basically the same thing. We must go through security in airports. Everybody who traveled knows that it's not easy to go through security. You have to take your shoes off, you have to take your belt off, you have to put computer, take it out of your bag, put it inside the box. You have to go in, they check you. Not easy process. Takes time. So, when you go through security, that means whatever it is, when you're going from one side to the other side, it is difficult. What about a little red star? That means we have a verb, go. And the verb go means we have a special video on the verb go. Check it out. It's real fun. And English teachers will be shocked. So, number 2. People smoke cigarettes through a filter. Why do people smoke cigarettes through filter? So that the nicotine doesn't go from cigarette to your lungs easily. So it will be difficult for nicotine and other things to go from the cigarette to your lungs. What about number 3? The airplane had to fly through a storm to its destination. Was it easy for the airplane to fly? For sure not. So the airplane had difficulty when it flew through the storm. And finally, we're not through with our prepositions. This is the 3rd class. And if you do homework, you will see that it will be easy, but at the beginning, prepositions are very difficult. So, we are not through, that means we didn't go from start to finish today with prepositions. That means there will be more videos to come that you will enjoy and learn how to think, speak, and write as well or better than an English speaker. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'm sure I will see you next time. To be in my video and to have me make a video specially to answer your question, send me an email to englishclubusa@yahoo.com, and you can visit my website at englishclubusa.com for a free life membership. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell.